And DIYers, it is Mark here. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning after the Easter long weekend. And I apologize for being a bit late this morning, but I did have a client meeting, so I had to push this back. But nonetheless, I want to talk to you about a topic that has come up on my radar again. And this might seem a bit obvious to you, but based on my experience of the last few months, I see that it is everything but obvious. And I think even if it feels obvious to you and you're nodding your head and saying, yeah, I knew about that, it might be worth revisiting this topic again when it comes to building your own brand. And that is the customer journey. Now, a customer journey is a way to track the customer experience and how they interact with your business. Now that's a definition that I got from Forbes magazine, and I think it's a whole lot simpler than that. Imagine a customer is moving from a place of not knowing who you are to discovering you for the first time. Probably not walking into your store or onto your website, but discovering you for the first time, to checking you out a little more closely, to checking you out really closely, to weighing you against the competition to see which one they should buy, to deciding that they should buy your product or service, to making the transaction, to after the transaction, using the product or service, to becoming a loyal user of your product or service, if that's the way your business is structured, to recommending your product or service to somebody else because they love you so much. So if you think about it, that's actually fairly obvious, right? We all know that people don't just wake up one morning and say, I want to buy Bob's widget or Mary's plumbing service. They don't wake up doing that. They discover that they have a need for something or a pain that they need to solve. I need to have my toilet fixed. What am I going to do? Then they move from that discovery that they have a problem they need to solve to checking out what they could do about it. Maybe I should go online and check out plumbers to fix my toilet. So they go online. They check out a whole bunch of plumbers. But they probably also check out things like reviews, right? They might dial up their friend who's a builder, or dial up their cousin who's a plumber in another city and say, do you know any good plumbers in my city? So they might do that. That's sort of how they go from awareness of a problem to consideration of a solution to that problem. Maybe not your solution, maybe not your company. But then as they get to the point where they want to actually move on getting this toilet fixed, they go into the point of decision making where they go, I've got a list of 5 plumbers here. Which ones should I go with? And then it actually comes to making the decision saying, I want you to be my plumber and come fix my toilet. 2, I love the way you fixed my toilet. If I have any other plumbing that goes wrong, I'll call you. 2, hey, I know some people who need to have their sinks fixed and their toilets fixed. I'm going to recommend you to them. So that is a customer journey. Now, why is it important, even if you know about the customer journey, to think about it again? And this is something that just happened to me. It is important because as entrepreneurs, we tend to look at the world from an inside-out perspective, from inside the jar. That is, if we're thinking of ways to market or brand or tell people our message, we usually fall back on, I think people would like to see social media ads, or I think people might like to hear about us on the radio. If you have a customer journey and you understand who your customer is, their persona, you can understand the process that they go through in making their mind up or even discovering you for the first time. And you know what you might discover is that the people who are looking for someone to fix their toilet don't generally listen to the radio. They're at home most of the day, or they're in an office most of the day. They're not driving around in a truck from job to job. So talking to them on the radio, you might not reach them at all. But you might discover that they're on Facebook or Instagram. You might discover that they are the person staying at home all day, which in a lot of cases with families would be the wife. So she's staying at home and she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, she's talking to her friends on social media. That might be a place to reach out. Or you might figure out that the person you want to talk to is not the housewife, but maybe a stay-at-home dad who is maybe not on Facebook or Instagram, but might be watching YouTube videos. I don't know. The point is that unless you think about this, you are not going to know what message to put out there or where to reach these people, because you're making assumptions about who they are and what steps of the customer journey they take. You tend to fall back on what you think they're doing or who you think they are. Now, there's a wonderful example that people use. They say, you know, it's so easy to make a peanut butter sandwich. Just tell somebody to make a peanut butter sandwich. If you think it's that easy, write down the specific steps of making a peanut butter sandwich and try to teach someone who has never made a peanut butter sandwich before in their life. You might say, well, it's as easy as spreading peanut butter on the bread. What do I spread the peanut butter on the bread with? They might ask. My hands? A spoon? A muffler tailpipe? Well, it might also be difficult because you never told them to open the jar of peanut butter or where the peanut butter is. They might try to spread it not on a piece of bread, but on a loaf of bread because you didn't tell them to take out 2 slices. You also didn't tell them that if they spread the peanut butter on the bread that they should stick the peanut butter in the middle. So they might stick it on the outsides, which is going to be a mess. I think you get my point. That assuming that people are going to be doing this, and this on the way to buying your product oftentimes leads us to make decisions that are completely misinformed and that waste our advertising and marketing budget, because we're talking to people who don't want to buy our stuff, or we're talking to people who might want to buy our stuff but aren't quite ready to think about buying our stuff yet. They're just making comparisons. Or we might be talking to them when they're ready to buy stuff and force feeding them information. Did you know, did you know, did you know? When they're in fact going, I knew all that already. Just let me buy the damn thing. So how do you get started with a customer journey if you want to revisit the customer journey? It's quite simple. A customer journey can be broken into 5 different parts. The first part is awareness. Now, this isn't awareness of your product. This is the customer's awareness that they have a problem. What is the problem they have? Now, with a flooded toilet, it's obvious enough. Their problem is they have a flooded toilet. There is water all over the floor, and the toilet's going to fall through the floor. If it gets soaked and soft, it'll fall right through into the basement. Nasty. So not only do they have a problem, but they have a sense of urgency. They got to fix this thing now. That is awareness of a problem. If you think about it, what are they doing when they're aware of this problem? Well, when it comes to toilets, they're probably looking online for a plumber who will come right now. The next stage is called consideration. Consideration is the stage where they go, all right, I'm online now. I'm looking at 5 different plumbers. Which one do I pick? And at this stage, what they want to do, or what they're probably doing, is checking out Yelp reviews, calling their friends. Have you ever heard of this plumber? Is this plumber a good plumber? What about that plumber? They might be looking at the website of the plumber to see which one looks the most respectable or cheap or can get there the quickest. So that is customer awareness. The next one is consideration. The next stage is decision. Now they have narrowed it down to you. What are they doing right now? I bet they're calling you up. What does that mean? Is there somebody there to answer the phone? Is voicemail saying, I will call you back within 5 minutes? Or does it say, yeah, leave a message, maybe I'll get back to you? Is there even a voicemail? Does the voicemail sound like it cares? If they get voicemail, can they go onto the website and book an appointment right now? Those are all the things that they might be doing when they're making a decision. And it's important to note that at every single stage, from awareness to consideration to decision, a bad experience or a bad slip up can push them away forever. They're gone. You had a fish that was coming closer and closer to the lure, and suddenly something spooked it. Boom, fish is gone. Forget about it. You just lost a customer. Once they've pulled out their credit card and hired you to fix their toilet, you're not done. The stage after that is called loyalty. So we've gone now through awareness, consideration, decision. Next stage is loyalty. At loyalty, the customer says, you did a really good job. I'm going to recommend you to my friends. Or you did a lousy job. I'm never going to recommend you ever. And I'm going to stay, recommending is actually the next stage. I'm going to stay loyal to you. If I ever have another problem like a sink or a toilet, I'm going to call you back. Now, at this stage, there's also things that you can do for the customer. You can give them a phone number on a magnet that they hang on their fridge. You can call them back in 6 months or 3 months and say, how's the toilet working out? Anything else you need? So there are steps that you can take to keep that customer. And you know the Pareto principle, 80% of your business comes from 20% of your loyal customers. So if you can keep 20% of your customers coming back again and again, you're going to be fine. The final stage, which I jumped to just a second ago, is recommendation. If you have a loyal customer, they will become your best salesperson. You can get them to reach out and find new customers for you. How can you help them do that? So there you have it. The customer journey, definitely worth taking another look at. If you have not done a customer journey, now is the time. If you have done a customer journey, now is the time to dust it off, take another look and go, is everything that I wrote in that customer journey still relevant? How can I use it to guide my marketing and brand work? How can I use it to create a more favorable impression of my business for my customers? Have yourselves a great day. Let's go build some big brands. Talk to you soon.